Am I the asshole for setting up my ex-husband look like a bad father? I'll keep this short. When my and ex's daughter, Megan, was turning 13, she wanted a tiered Harry Potter cake. She loves the movies. She was very specific in what she wanted. I told her as gently as I could that I didn't think we'd be able to afford that. And my ex took that opportunity to be the fun parent, and said in a doting voice, "Oh baby, don't worry, Daddy will get you your cake." She was all smiles and ran off to get her bags. I told him if he was going to promise this to order it early, 'cause bakeries require advance order. He got all huffy and said he knew what the fuck he was doing, and I should mind my business. I said anything involving our daughter is my business. He said he didn't need my help, and I should just handle the birthday party and he'd get the cake. I said okay, then they left for the weekend. I know my ex. He puts things off that aren't about him. I knew he was going to forget to order. Usually I'd pester him so he wouldn't forget. But he said he didn't need my help, so I decided to not bring it up unless he did. But I did call a friend I have who started decorating cakes to order the cake from her. It cost a bit more than I'd have liked, but not as much as I'd been worried it would. Well, he never brought the cake up again. At least not until the day before her birthday. Where he called me, frantic. He forgot to order the cake. And now none of the bakeries will take his order without tacking on a massive fee, 'cause there's no way they can have the cake ready unless they focus their full staff on one cake. I was going to tell him not to worry, I ordered the cake for him. But then he says, "Why didn't you remind me?" I just snapped and said he needed to figure this out and he better have a cake tomorrow, then I hung up. He brought a cake. A plain white sheet cake with red trim and one of those print-out sugar decals on the front of Harry Potter and his two friends. And a wax 11 candle. She was turning 13. He revealed the cake during her party, so everyone was sitting quiet and Megan looked heartbroken and tried to be nice, but she asked what happened to the cake she wanted. X floundered and I let him for a few seconds before laughing, "Haha, just kidding." And then I went and pulled the cake I ordered from the kitchen. Megan lit up and everyone laughed, and it was just one huge joke and the rest of the party went great. But after everyone went home and Megan was in her room, X tried to lay into me about humiliating him, and letting him look like a bad father, and I told him the only one who made him look bad was him. I think I was justified, but some mutual friends think I should have just told him I got the cake to keep things civil between us. Am I the asshole? Edit. I never told Megan or even planned to tell her, not until she was older maybe, but she started acting very chilly to X for a long while after her birthday party, and when he asked her why, she admitted to almost walking into the kitchen when he and I were whisper arguing the night of her birthday. She found out he'd completely forgotten to order the cake, and the joke cake was actually the real cake he got her. So she was very cross with him for a long time afterwards. Edit 2. To everyone thinking I purposefully waited to have him reveal the joke cake before showing the cake I ordered, I didn't. I'd planned on pulling him aside before the party and letting him know I just went ahead and ordered a cake for him. Then we'd take in the big cake and leave whatever he brought in the kitchen. But he showed up after all the guests had arrived. So I didn't have time to grab him before he sat the sheet cake box on the dining room table where everyone saw it. And I knew everyone would notice us taking his short pink box into the kitchen and coming back out with a taller white one. I thought on my toes. Edit 3. Sorry, but I can't post a cake tax picture because I only got one picture of her cake that day. I'd asked my brother to take pics for me since I was trying to handle everything else, but he got distracted, never asking him again. And the pic has Megan and all her friends around the cake, and I'd prefer to not post pics of other people's children, even with them obscured, online. Also, my friend doesn't bake anymore. She likes to try new stuff, and baking, cake decorating was another thing she got into but lost interest in. But currently she's very into photography. Not the asshole. You actually saved him from looking like a bad father, putting that in quotes because he doesn't look like one. He is one, by having the cake she wanted ready and making it look like his shitty contribution was just a joke. I am extremely glad that this man is your ex and that you are there to be a real parent to your daughter. Not the asshole. It sounds like to everyone on the outside that you two were in on it and just teasing your daughter. He's the only one that had to sit there and shit his pants because he fucked up. He should have dropped to his knees and thanked you and asked how much he owed you for the damn cake. Not the asshole. Dude was seriously embarrassed that his poor behavior was so easy to predict that you had a contingency plan. Your friends are wrong, but they are coming from a place of sympathy for their friend, and because they want to keep peace in the friend group. It's understandable, but still wrong. Good for you, mama. Not the asshole. Your ex set himself up to fail, you just made sure that your daughter's birthday didn't become a sacrifice to his grand gestures and ego. Prior preparation and planning prevents piss-poor performance. You planned ahead. Your ex didn't. Your daughter was happy, and that's what matters in this scenario. NTA. And people need to stop excusing deadbeat fathers for their bad time management. You saved the day because you knew how he was. It's not your job to keep holding his hand while he keeps on acting as if you're the bad guy. Sounds like he's used to you saving his ass. Maybe next time, let him fail. He exposed himself, and sounds like your friends need to stop making excuses for him. Not the asshole. Guy makes a promise, he needs to keep it. You didn't set him up, he did. It's blatant why he's the ex. And what the fuck is civil between you two supposed to mean? I was going to tell him not to worry, I ordered the cake for him. But then he says, why didn't you remind me? Because presumably you're an adult who can keep track of what you said you'll do. I have ADHD. I write that shit down and put it in the calendar so I don't have to remember. Not the asshole. Not your job to save his ass or remind him of anything. He's an adult. You were preventing your kid from seeing what a disorganized mess he is, at least for a while. Not the asshole. You planned for your daughter knowing he'd screw it up. And you saved him in the end by making it a joke. You're a good parent, as those things are directly for your child and not to screw him over. The added benefit of him getting bent was just gravy. Not the asshole. What got me was him forgetting his child's age. Even I remembered she was turning 13 before you mentioned it. Not the asshole. You might have set him up to be the in his mind, but you saved the day for your daughter. She would have been absolutely devastated with that other cake. Absolutely not the asshole. You went above and beyond. So far beyond that he didn't even have to own his fuck-up. You were kinder than you had to be while also still letting him learn the lesson. My vote would be different if you hadn't played it off like a prank on your daughter. Not the asshole. The only one who knows that your ex failed is your ex, unless he brings it up. The way you set it up, it could be perceived as a mutually agreed upon gag. He felt embarrassed, as he should have, but only to himself. I kind of love this petty revenge story. Not the asshole. He got all huffy and said he knew what the fuck he was doing, and I should mind my business. You were just doing what he asked. He humiliated himself. Your mutual friends. Why is the onus on you to keep things civil between you? Why aren't they questioning his behavior? Not the asshole. He got what was coming to him, maybe he won't be such a dick next time. Not the asshole, and I would tell him that you would not be reminding him anymore about anything, so he needs to grow up or face the humiliation. Info. Does the daughter think he bought the cake or that you bought the cake? Was she disappointed with him for not getting the cake he wanted? Not the asshole. He says, why didn't you remind me? Repeat these words, I'm no longer married to you. Not the asshole. Dude humiliated himself. Did he ever reimburse you for the cake that you bought? Not the asshole, but eventually you're going to have to stop bailing him out and let your daughter realize that he breaks his promises. The sooner she learns, the more she will mitigate her expectations. Not the asshole. I just can't imagine why he's your ex-husband. Not the asshole. Dude couldn't even put the right age on the cake. He doesn't need your help looking like a bad father if he can't remember how old his kid is. This dude sounds terrible. We aren't living in the 80s. You don't need reminders or to remember things anymore. You set a reminder on your phone and just do shit as needed. Not the asshole. I so wanna say I love you, but am scared it looks creepy. But I love you for going out of your way to give your daughter what she wanted, even though it cost you more than you'd wish. And you're of course not the asshole. He is, and he has to know that. He even seemed to have forgotten her actual age. I would have loved to have seen the look on his face when he saw the cake you ordered. LMAU. Welcome to Am I the Asshole? Please view our voting guide here, and remember to use only one judgment in your comment. Help keep the sub engaging. Hashtag Don, T downvote assholes. To upvote interesting posts. Click here for our rules, and click here for our FAQ. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit message composed to =r Amy the asshole if you have any questions or concerns. Not the asshole, and I'm inspired by your forethought in ordering the cake yourself. Last time I took my ex at his word that he'd handle it, I lost half my good china. Not the asshole, he's a massive awe. And that's why he's called an ex. I can see why the fuck he is an ex. Not the asshole. I'm the good parent, am I the asshole? No one is bringing up that this dude doesn't know his daughter's age. Not the asshole, he is the only one who made himself look like a bad father. If you could predict this shit, he obviously has a history of being thoughtless. The fact that he tries to blame you even after your warning, which you didn't have to do. Yeah, no, you didn't do anything but turn a disaster into joy. He embarrassed his own damn self. Not the asshole. Nope. Not the asshole. It is not your responsibility to make him responsible. I give you a hearty congratulations for learning that lesson and then saving the party for her and everyone else, but not saving his ego. Smiling face with hearts. Not the asshole, he's the dumb ass who put himself in that position to begin with, and you are the badass mama who protects your kiddo from his bullshit. Keep it up. Not the asshole, this is amazing. He actually asked you stay out of it. You did, because you didn't tell him what to do or how to do it. You only made sure that your daughter wasn't left without the cake she wanted. He could have owned up to the fact that it wasn't his cake, but he didn't. You aren't the at all. Not the asshole, you sure did set him up, in the kindest and nicest possible way. Not only was there the exact cake, there was extra cake. Well done. Not the asshole. But you saved his butt. There are a number of ways to handle this kind of relationship. One is to let things be so that sooner or later everyone realizes he is an unreliable awe. Another one is to keep covering his butt, like you just did. One saves your sanity at the expense of everyone else's. The other saves everyone else's sanity at the expense of yours. The question is, how do you want to play it? How do you want to put yourself in these kind of situations? Not the asshole. He did it to himself. Let him sink his own ship. Not the asshole. All previous comments, great, agree 100% and so happy you are there for your daughter. But can we all agree that cake antics aside, the worst part is this man not knowing how old his daughter is? Not the asshole. He was only upset that you didn't tell him because he would rather ride on your coattails and take credit. I saw in the comments that she heard about him forgetting the cake the night before, so really he was the clown the whole time. Better treat his efforts for what they truly were, a joke. Not the asshole. He made his bed. 100% not the asshole. He al significant other had a candle for an 11-year-old. WTH. God. I know what this is like though, my ex is pretty shitty at times. Not the asshole. Sometimes exes will just feel like they are pushing your buttons, and maybe they are. And sometimes it's partners who do it. It's the reason why you never teach your partner to drive. That being said, you could let him know that he's great at many things and you're great at many things. Together, you can still work together to parent your child. It's not a competition and you were trying to help give advice and he didn't want it. That you got the cake as a backup since he said he was having trouble. This would be the high road and way more than what he deserves because he was definitely the taw. Nonetheless, kids pick up on tension between parents, so it's worth trying to make it civil. It's the old saying of, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Not the asshole. Let's be honest, he would have gotten upset no matter what you said or did. Even if you did remind him or even if you did tell him you had the cake, he would have found something else to be upset about. You're a good mom. Megan must be really heartbroken though. He didn't even get the right age. No wonder she completely bought that it was a prank. She must be feeling so disappointed. She didn't deserve that. Not the asshole. TBH, I was expecting you to say the embarrassment was him forgetting the cake and leaving your daughter cakeless. You showed him a lesson, guess he didn't learn, explains the extra 2-letter in his title, and made sure your daughter didn't suffer from his lack of care. Way to go, Mom. Not the asshole. Your friends haven't lived with, bred or married a narcissist. So it is very easy for them to take the moral high ground. I think you handled it amazingly. Not the asshole. You didn't make him look bad. He seems to be more than capable of doing that all on his own. I mean, he's an adult in age. At least he should be able to handle a relatively basic task like ordering a promised birthday cake, and getting the age of his child correct without someone holding his hands. Sounds like a deadbeat.